Good morning. It is 9:49 a.m. on Saturday, January 26th, 2019. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. This is what my hair does when I take a shower and then don't put any product on my hair and then go to bed. So I don't actually mind that it does this, except for the part where I have to brush tangles out later. Anyway, I watched Roma yesterday, which of the Oscar-nominated films is tied with The Favorite for 10 nominations each for the most nominations this year. Excuse me, burp. It is a Netflix original movie. And so that means it is viewable on Netflix. It is a Mexican language movie, Spanish language, but from the country of Mexico, by a director named Alfonso Cuarón, who has made a number of great movies that I have enjoyed. And it is obviously getting a lot of buzz this year, and I think it really is something. Now, I went in knowing almost nothing about it, didn't read even a paragraph or a sentence of story synopsis, just nothing. And yet, somehow through cultural osmosis or people tweeting about it or something, I had gotten the vague impression that the story was a little bit more high concept than it actually is. Like it was maybe secret sci-fi or something like that. And I'm not sure why I got that impression, because it's not. I don't think there's not any big spoilers. I mean, there's things that happen in the story that you wouldn't want to have spoiled, but not in just like the concept of what the story is. And so I think that probably it's better to not go in as cold as I did. Or I think maybe the problem with me was that I went in thinking I knew things that were actually wrong. And so there was a while in the movie where I sort of kept waiting for the reveal, and it didn't ever come because there wasn't ever supposed to be one. But it's fine, because it's actually a very good movie on its own. What the story is actually is a year in the life of a young woman who works as a servant for a family in Mexico. And it's her story, and it's lovely. It is set in 1970, and that's a time period that Mexico was undergoing some upheaval, and there are upheavals in her own personal story, both related to the wider upheaval and not. And it's a lovely story. I really came to care for the main character. Both the actress who plays the lead, whose name is Cleo, and the actress who plays the mother of the family that she works for, are both nominated for Oscars. Leading actress in the case of Cleo, and supporting actress in case of the mother of this family. I'm not going to get into the details of the things that happen in the movie, other than just that high level concept. This is what the movie is about. But the movie does some really remarkable things in cinematography and production design, which is why it's nominated for Oscars in those categories too. In cinematography, I can't remember if definitely in production design. I can't remember the whole list of the 10 nominations that it got. But regardless, I think it is, and directing and so on. The movie does some really remarkable things with foreground and background. And I'm just this is not even remotely a spoiler. It's just a description of the very opening shot. And I won't even fully get into that, but what we start with is just a pattern of tiles that look like it might be a floor, it might be a tiled wall, we're not sure. And then water starts to slosh over it, and we hear kind of like a brushing sound. and we're not quite sure what's going on, but we're hearing, seeing water periodically over it. And as we start figuring out from the context, well, I guess this is floor, I guess somebody's cleaning something. And then what starts to happen too is as more and more water is sort of spilled over the floor, and there starts to be a layer of water on it, you can start seeing the reflection of what's above the floor, and that starts filling in the details of like where are we right now. And it's just a very neat shot. And throughout the movie, there are lots of these great shots of having, something in the foreground that sort of draws our immediate attention. But then over the course of a few seconds, we realize that something going on in the background adds to the story of the shot. And then vice versa, and things that where we're constantly paying attention to one layer, and then our attention is brought to another layer, and it changes up what we are thinking about. And I mean, that sounds ordinary, like a thing that movies do, and it's true. But this movie does some really cool transitions like that, and it's pretty great. The writing of it is like the story is nothing groundbreaking, but it's an understated kind of just this happens, then this happens, then this happens type of story, but all about following this girl and her heart. And I don't know, it's really lovely. I laughed, I cried. It's very good. I recommend it. And I will leave it there. Tomorrow, of course, for me, Sunday morning, I will be doing my rewatch of Gravity Falls, and we will be having a session of This Space for Rent. And I think that Mike and I are going to be doing our recording of the Oscar nomination beginning. We'll see if we can make all of that work. And in the meantime, I'll talk to you tomorrow morning, or I'll talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes. Yeah.